13 pretty much done. Only 2 more games as we sit here and 1 as you sit there. If it's the morning of the day that we release this. If it's later, what a great week of footy it was. But if you're listening to it in years, this is me in 2025, before I died. I'm Broden. Let's bounce that pill. Happy June 9, everyone. Almost tax time. Get your stuff in order. Welcome to the Footy with Broden, a tax-based podcast taking you through the financial year and how to get your deductions right, how to write that off and make it untaxable salary. My name's Broden Kelly, and this is a write-off, this podcast. It's a football podcast, so I can write off KO and trips to the footy. Alongside me is an expert in footy. They went to the University of Ballarat Arts Academy and studied a Bachelor of Arts in acting. Please welcome Tom.
Hi, mate. How are you? How's your weekend?
Good, thank you. Favourite Shakespeare play?
God.
Exactly.
I do like Hamlet.
Oh, no thanks. I'd prefer Meat Lovers. I don't know what that was. I was trying to do
a ham and tomato joke.
Big week of football, wasn't it?
Oh, huge week of football.
And it's still going, but that doesn't mean we can't do a little bit of a preemptive round the grounds. Brought to you by this coffee from Footy. Now, I've decided this week to do the round the grounds and by comparing each of the games to the movie that it correlates with. Thursday night, we started with the Dogs versus the Hawks. The Hawks are back on the winning team. This game was the Avengers Infinity War of movies. The team you thought you wouldn't see beaten were taken down at Marvel, no less. Will the Dogs rise again? We're in the end game now. Ha ha ha. Then, Friday night, the Crows Lions. The Crows got on the winning table against a high-positioned team. This was the Gladiator. The story of a team being wronged by the AFL over and over, and then finally returning for revenge against the reigning premiers. The Lions are Joaquin Phoenix because they kept doing stupid shit. Then, Saturday, the Tigers went down to the Swans. This game was back to the future, as Swans fans were transported to a simpler time when they won, and they were good, and they were attracted to their mum. Cats versus Suns was the twilight game on Saturday. Spirited Away was the movie because Tom and I travelled to a magical land full of weird, strange-looking people on our journey, and we grew and became strong young people, and I reckon I saw no face. Otherwise, just some weird fucker. Then, Saturday night, Giants versus Power. This game was June because I couldn't stay awake till the end. North versus West Coast was the early Sunday game. This was Mad Max because it took place in a barren, empty wasteland called WA, more specifically Bunbury. And then Sunday night, the North won that game, by the way. Carlton versus the Bombers. Hasn't happened yet, but I reckon Carlton win. This movie is the new Superman movie because I haven't seen it yet, but it's guaranteed to disappoint the entire fan base.
True.
And that's Round the Grounds. Yes, we apologise again, but just because of the long weekend, we are not doing this at 1 a.m. after the Bombers and Carlton game. But it does promise to be a good game. And by that, I reckon halftime will be 20-23.
Oh, yeah.
Be wet and shit.
Yeah.
And then some team will blow it out to about 32 points.
Is it raining right now in Melbourne?
It's spitting.
Yeah, and it's like 9 degrees. It does feel weird to have a Sunday night game, doesn't it? It's exciting, but it feels weird. Yeah, I like it.
Because I didn't have a lot on Friday. Mm-hmm. And so I've had like a 4-day week. I worked on Friday, but I didn't have a lot on. So it's like 4-day weekend. Yeah. I went out for a drink with this guy.
Did ya? Watch out.
Did.
I had a peach spritz.
You did have
a peach seltzer. But apart from that, a good weekend.
Yeah.
Who did you tip for this game?
Well, I can't remember who I tipped, but I think Essendon get this done for
That'd be nice. Yeah. I would like that.
I think it's theirs to lose.
You forget Cats lost to Carlton. You know, they can be good.
Yeah, they can be.
Harry Mackay out. He's a variable. Maybe they're better without him. I don't know. What's your match of the round, Tom?
So you said they needed a big scalp and they got one. Adelaide Crows versus Brisbane. Even though Brisbane were probably the better team, and kicked eight behinds in the last quarter.
Yes.
Still thought this is great for the Crows. This is exactly what they need. I think they've beaten 4 teams who are above them on the ladder at this point. So, yeah,
do you know
the real deal?
The player of this game, IMHO. Firstly, the Crows have arrived.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They could come. They could come hard. They could win. They could take it all. They could be this year's insert Hawthorn here, insert 2016 Bulldogs here, and, they could be that.
Yeah, 3rd on the ladder. I do think Brisbane were the better team, but it doesn't matter. A win's a fucking win.
No, Brisbane are all over the place at the moment. Jordan Dawson is the man of this match, in my humble opinion.
It's so interesting. A lot of people are talking him as a Brownlow fancy.
Got tagged, right?
Yeah.
But was still great. Kicked a very important goal at the end.
He's very good. I feel like he's such a whipping boy at times, but I do think it's just simply he turns the ball over sometimes by foot, but it's never bothered me, really. I think he's... I
can't believe Swans got rid of him.
I can't believe Swans let him go. Would be the words I'd use.
Speaking of teams fumbling the bag, Ben Keys hates Brisbane.
Yeah, so I didn't realise until today or yesterday that Ben Keys used to play for Brisbane.
He played for Brisbane.
Did he get listed?
He hates them.
What's the go there?
Every time he plays them, he flogs them.
He does. He kicked 3, right?
Was he delisted?
He was delisted. That's crazy. A 24th pick in the 2015 national draft.
Why did they delist him? That's insane.
He was the second academy selection for Brisbane after they made. So he's an academy guy. He's an academy guy. He goes 25th, and then they delist him.
What, you're turning into like a Ricky Gervais character? What is this, like a...
No, that's insane.
Are you having enough?
That's insane. He was best on ground in the 2017 NEAFL Grand Final.
Tom's having a full breakdown on air.
Because at the end of 2019, he was delisted. That's crazy.
Get him a glass of water.
How fucking good is that?
Hey, chill out.
No, I'm not chill. I think this is a great story. I'm so excited for Ben Keys. Look at this. He played 16 for Brisbane, then 10. Then he had 2 years where he could only manage 2 games for the Brisbane.
Right.
For the Brisbane. Then he goes to Adelaide, and the first year he comes back. He plays 16, then 22, 22, 23, 23. He stars. He's a star.
And he's a good man.
He's a good man.
We didn't know who he was. Oh, no, I said he was a mean man. He hates Brisbane. He's mean to Brisbane.
Oh, yeah.
But then he was like, thanks for talking about me.
Yeah. He's vice captain of Adelaide.
Please write in and tell Tom to calm down.
No, I refuse to calm. I bring energy to this podcast. Look at me.
And Lions kicked straight 20. They had 20 inside 50s.
Kicked 8 behinds?
0 goals, 8 behinds.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's over a period.
It was just the last quarter, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, old mate Fags said we should have won that game.
Oh, I agree. But at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter, right? Adelaide won fair and square, right?
And then Matthew Nick said, no, we should have won. This is genuinely what he said. No, we should have.
I mean, look at this.
There's a lot of games Adelaide Crows should have won that they didn't win. So he's fair to say, no, we should have won because we won.
That's true. They've been robbed of a few. You could argue the Gold Coast lost early in the year. They should
all the
won.
time.
No,
they, and you just got to ask someone from Adelaide, have they ever got a game stolen from them? And they'll tell you, they'll talk to you.
But I didn't realize.
Tune into 5AA at any time.
When you said they kicked 8 behinds, I didn't realize that it was from the 20-minute onwards that they kicked all these behind. So yeah, that's
and one was literally Lockie Neal running into goal.
Yeah, they just and then
400-time Brownlow medal winner.
And then who's the guy that we have talked about often and that Max Gawn said was a fucking gun, and we were like, who?
Darcy Fort.
Zach Bailey, who used to get confused with. He sprayed a couple as well. That it was like, this is crazy shots, mate, from outside of 50. You know, like what are you doing? Right. Okay. Well, so that's your match of the round. That is, to this point... Oh, no. My match of the round has just finished as we record this. North Melbourne have done a 4D chess manoeuvre. And they have said that our home ground is now Bunbury, Western Australia. We're going to play home games in WA. Instead of going to Launceston... No, they go to... Well, they're still doing that. No, but yeah, they're kind of... I feel like they're weaning off Tassie. Well, they're micro-dosing off Tassie. Sure. They're micro-dosing Bunbury. Yeah. So they're just going, eventually, we're not going to... In the same way Collingwood is going to sell games to the Gold Coast, they're selling games to over there, which is a really clever thing to do because Bunbury is obviously going to give them some money to go there, but then also West Coast or Freo are going to fill it every time. So it's a really actual... And they North believe that they have a large fan base who are from WA from the 70s, 80s,
and today. The gold 104. I enjoyed that. They have fans from the gold 104, the 70s, 80s, and today. A good mix.
Yeah.
And they went over there, and West Coast, because they were so far from home, went 6 goals 16.
Incredible.
To North Melbourne's 9 goals 8. And I'll say, like, I didn't know what the hell a hands oval was.
Yeah.
What the fuck's a hands oval?
A hands oval.
And it's got a D in it. It's literally hand.
Yeah, handsy.
Hands oval.
It's handsy oval, mate.
Yeah.
Beautiful ground.
Yeah, and I was like, holy shit, this is like, it looks like a nice place.
Yeah.
It looks really beautiful. And it's sold out. Like, it's packed. I'm like, build around this, man. Like, it's a Mars Stadium vibe. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's 2 hours from the CBD of Perth, you know? Mm-hmm. And North won there. And when they won, it looked like there was North crowd there. Like, it's a big win for North if they can continue to play there.
It is. My 2 cents on it is they absolutely did not deserve to win. They were by far the worst team on the day. They were awful. The West Coast absolutely deserved to win. But here's the thing, Brad. This is what I said to you before podcast. Who was the more awful team? West Coast because they played better but they kicked behinds, or North because they played badly but won? So who was the worst team?
Well, on a Sunday game, do you know who the worst player always is?
Who?
Jared Healy. But apart from that, I would say West Coast deserved to lose. But then also North take the wins.
That's interesting because I really thought West Coast I was really sad for West Coast. I thought they absolutely deserved this win and they were really good and really exciting. And I thought North were awful. I was listening on the way over on the drive into SEN. And who's that guy who used to play
on the
Adelaide?
Drive into SEN?
No, the drive into the office today.
Do you host breakfast now?
I do. Who's the guy who used to play for Adelaide, then Geelong? Josh Jenkins.
James Podsy Adley.
Well, yeah, true. Josh Jenkins would not shut the fuck
Patrick
up
Dangerfield.
about how it was the worst game he's ever seen. He just kept saying, this is the worst game. I can't believe the skills. North should be embarrassed. This is disgusting. Like for 15 minutes straight.
That's great.
So funny. I should find some clips for him for maybe the Wednesday show and put some in because it was hilarious.
Zerha and Simpkin, I think, won the game. Or was it Finn O'Sullivan lining up at the end? No, it was
Simpkin was
Zerha.
Zerha kicked that last one, did he?
Zerha kicked one and then Simpkin did.
Yeah, right.
But Zerha kicked the real one.
Yeah, right.
But no, I just thought it was good. That's another win for a bottom team.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed this as well, but for the opposite reasons to you.
Now, give me out Sting, because we're going to talk about our magical trip to Geelong.
The scenes at the Adelaide Oval!
So we got a text message on Friday from Joe Koski from this podcast. And he says, my cousin Ed, who you know from my wedding, lovely guy Ed.
Very nice guy.
He was there, he was at Ground Zero the day that Richmond beat Carlton at Joe's Bucks.
Yeah, that's right.
And he says, you can have my members' tickets. I've got 3 tickets, I can't go.
Yep.
Tom Broden, Joe, let's go to Geelong.
Yeah.
So we drive down. It's a lovely drive by.
I really enjoyed it, especially from Broden picked me up from our work in Brunswick. Beautiful, or freeway all the way.
I've never gone to a game in Geelong at Cardinia Park. You've never been to a game. So we were popping our Geelong cherry and I wanted to hear what all the fuss was about. I wanted to see the stadium that has been being built for 400 years.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see what all the fuss was about.
And you could tell too.
Can you just flatly give me your star rating out of 5 of Cardinia Park before we get into the details?
I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
And there's very specific things that lost that star, which we'll talk about. But otherwise, should I talk about the positives really quickly? Or you want to get into specifics?
It will be good for some balance.
All right, let me give the positives. 1, absolutely love the suburban vibe of it. We parked in the suburban street and walked over. It felt like Windy Hill. It felt like
that is a good point.
Icon Park. I love that.
We just drove up to a vicinity to the if you were at the MCG, you would never get a car park.
Never.
And we just got a car park, a 10-minute walk from the stadium. Incredible.
Yeah.
And Tom does this thing whenever we go anywhere in the world, this cunt will be like, I could live here. And then he starts getting on realestate.com.au and looking at prices.
We passed a house and I was like, we literally passed a house that had a for sale sign that was like 200 meters from Cardinia Park. And I was like, surely that's like 600 grand.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where like an old house had been knocked down and they'd put 2 on it. You know what I mean? And they share a wall, but they're really nice and flash.
Yeah.
And it was 1.1.
1.1, which I thought was crazy. I thought it would be like 600. I was like shocked.
How
But
many,
then
how many bedrooms?
3 bedrooms, but they're all upstairs.
And no backyard?
No backyard, but a deck on the side.
Yeah, okay.
But then when you got 3 bedrooms upstairs, so there's a lot of living room downstairs. There's dining room, kitchen, and living room.
Yeah.
But still, I was thinking Geelong, it's going to be cheap as. Wrong. Very expensive.
Geelong is very overpriced for what it is.
Yeah.
I think there's supply and demand. Like, people want to live there, so it's expensive.
Yeah. So that's one positive. The other positive I would say is because of the money, the place was gorgeous, clean, fresh paint. The toilets were immaculate. Like, it was really nice, and it was like gorgeous, scenic sort of vibes in the stands, I felt like.
Great.
Those are the positives.
Thanks, Tom. Now, I gave it maybe half a star. Contender Park. And I'll say the positives were the people there were incredibly nice.
Really nice people.
So many nice people there saying hello and being lovely. Like, the community,
Yes.
lovely.
I agree with that immensely.
4.5 stars lost from the staff of Contender Park. Yes. I can't believe that it was real.
Crazy,
So
buddy.
we walk up to the ground. We're at gate 1. I look up and I see gate 85. There's genuinely a billion gates. So, and I'm exaggerating. I saw gate 13.
Yeah.
MCG is one of the biggest stadiums in the world.
Yeah.
100,000 people. There are 7 gates.
Yeah.
How does it need at least 6 more gates
Yeah.
than the MCG? So you walk up to the first attendant, you go, which way should we go for gate 1? And they go, she just looks back and goes, no worries, go that way. We were 100 metres from gate 1 the other direction.
Yes. She made us do an entire lap of Contender. 450 metres. There was a sign that said 450 metres to gate 1.
So half a kilometre.
And she was so nice and confident. She wasn't like,
I'm not sure. She's like, I'll tell you what, you want to get to gate 1? Walk that way. But it was good, though, because we got to go past all the other 29 gates.
Legit.
And we saw, like, have you seen War of the Worlds when they're trying to get on the boat to get out of the city because the aliens are coming? Just like mass hordes of people trying to scan their tickets in to just go to this, and it's raining.
Yeah.
And it's just hordes of
thousands and
one
thousands
guy with
of
a metal
people.
detector just going, welcome.
To every gate, probably 1,000 people outside every gate waiting to get in.
So we finally get around to gate 1 after a good 58-minute trek.
Yeah.
Our car was closer to gate 1 than we were, but
So much closer.
Anyway, so we get to our gate and there is a massive line.
Massive line.
And there is a guy, as you have at other grounds, they have a guy they call the MC at the MCG, which is someone who might just going, entry to gate 1, if you want to go fast, go to the left, no bags, check, make sure you get things out of your pocket. Now, this guy, I reckon, is 55 doing the mic in this run, and he is trying to crack laughs. He's like, oh, a Suns fan over here. And it's your birthday.
Many jokes.
And he was like, but nothing was working. No one was laughing. And then someone told him, now he started to go, someone kept making up fake names for birthdays. And then someone clearly told him to say, Mike, Hunt, right? And then a few people laughed at that. And then he went, oh, holy shit, I'm Jerry Seinfeld. Yeah. I'm the fun. And so he just repeatedly, like around children, just started to say my C-bomb like over and over again on a microphone to like genuinely like 3,000 people.
While we're standing in the freezing rain.
My C-bomb, my C-bomb, my C-bomb. Jesus Christ.
And he's having a laugh while it's like 2 degrees and we're all just sitting there in the freezing cold
And
rain.
here's the best bit, right? So we're going in and an attendant walks up and then Tom says, possibly the funniest thing Tom will ever say. And I have to fucking lock in for this because the speed at which Tom said this and the veracity and the eloquence and he just did it like a professional funny man who's been funny for 100 years. You have to say it, or do you want me to say it?
No, you say it.
All right, so we're just walking. Tom's got his hand in his pocket. It's freezing cold. It's raining. An attendant walks up to us and says, are you trying to get in with bags today? Tom looks back at him without a beat and says, nah, Bailey Smith has done his hammy. No bags today. And I went at full volume, oh my God, Tom!
I thought it was so funny.
Like with no, like the immediate speed. It was incredible, Tom.
I was on it.
Anyway, we finally get into the stadium. We're in, and it's lovely, and they're beautifully dressed, wonderful.
We were stressed that we wouldn't get in.
So we may have had 2 junior tickets.
Yeah.
So we had 2 junior tickets, and we're like, fuck, if this is the MCG, we're not getting in. Why have we got these junior tickets?
We're stressed out.
We walk in, there's no one.
There's literally no one. No attendance.
No attendance at all.
So we just walked in.
Anyway, so then we're on level C, which appears to be level 3.
Yes.
So we we take the stairs up to the second level.
Yeah.
We're hungry.
We're starving. We've been driving for an hour. Starving.
So I walk up to attendant and I say, we're going up to level 3. Up there, is there any food? She looks back at me and goes, no, there is not. I go, great, we'll get some food here. We go up to level 3, food fucking everywhere.
It's a massive cafe there. Like, why would you lie like that?
No, there isn't. No.
Again, really
but not like,
nice.
I'm not sure.
No, he's like confident, and I was like, oh, no, there's no food up.
No, I think she said you've got to go back down for food.
Yes, that's right, she did.
Like, who are these people?
Like, why are you lying?
And then we go up to level 3. I walk up to her and say, where are these seats? C29. And she looks back at me and says, what?
Yeah, she's confused.
I was like, what's going on?
She goes, no, C40. And you go, no, C28. She goes, you're on C40. And he goes, yeah, I'm going to seat 28. She's like, you're on C40.
Yeah, I was like, all right. And then we got our seats, lovely people around us. People who've had these seats for life. It was very nice.
Yeah, really nice.
At Geelong, they don't show replays on the screen.
Yeah, that was a big thing. They were, like, the people around us were upset about it. They were like, don't look for replays here. They never get the replays on the screen.
Which is bizarre.
Which is weird, yeah.
We're in line at half time to get food, and there's pies. We talk about the Routley's pie. So they have Routley's pie, and I rated it.
I liked it as well. It was piping hot, which I love. Very nice pastry, very crispy.
I don't like when a pie it doesn't hold. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I feel like that's a common thing. Yeah, sure, yeah.
But I don't like that. Well, say what you will about a 4 and 20, but I don't think
holds.
There's a good chance it's going to hold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's talk about your pastry, all right? But Routley's, I thought they did a good job. And their hot dog, not bad.
But can I tell them about the Marathon Dim Sims?
Yeah, please.
So this place is sponsored by Marathon Dim Sims.
Right.
And so I had to get some dim sims. They come in a packet of 4. I thought,
they're probably playing a few salary caps down there.
Absolutely. So what I think with the Marathon is, I think they're the crispiest and best textured of all the dim sims. When I bit into the fried dim sim, it was like it's had a crunch to it. Incredible. But what I'll say about Marathon dim sims is, I don't really like a cabbage aftertaste, even though I understand cabbage is a big part of dim sims. And Marathon have the most long-lasting aftertaste of cabbage out of all the dim sims, I think. And that really ruins it to me, because first bite, you're like, ooh, crispy, ooh, delicious, and then cabbage.
Yeah. So I'll tell another thing. Well, here was my problem with there's 2 stories from the food bit.
Yeah.
First one is, I got a pie and a hot dog.
Yeah.
I want to try both. And she goes, that'll be $12 or whatever it was. It was reasonably priced.
Yeah.
And so I pay
cheap.
passed, and she took my food and held it to her body until it cleared.
That's the other thing.
And then gave me the food.
And they don't have, MCG, you walk in and you can just grab your food. They don't have that. You got to go up and order. So it's like the lines were fucking literally 40 minutes long. And I was thinking, this was not a busy game. This is like 20,000 people. Imagine 45 at this fucking ground. It would have been fucking insane. But I got a pie, a bottle of water, I got a hot dog, and 4 dimmies for $19.20. So
just read that list of what Tom fucking ate again.
Yeah. So I had 4 dim sims, a hot dog, a pie, and a bottle of water for $19.20.
Enough to feed a small Geelong family.
Yeah.
It was good, but.
And then on the way home, Broden was like, let's get Hungry Jack's. I was like, no.
Anyway, the next thing is the people behind me, the coffee people were handing out the coffees over there, and there's some like dorky 50-year-old Geelong dad. And they go, someone yelled like, coffee up, chai latte. And the guy behind me goes, wouldn't be surprised if someone's afraid to claim a chai latte. I was like, fuck are you talking about? What do you want him to have? A fucking beer, a fucking whiskey?
Yeah, bloody sissy drank the chai latte.
What are you talking about?
Have you ever had a chai? They're delicious.
It's 2 degrees. Someone's ordered a chai latte.
Yeah, and they're yummy.
Yeah,
it's a better alternative to hot chocky.
It's a fancy hot chocky.
Yeah.
With no chocolate, but
Yeah, with chai.
But it was how would you describe, so that's my experience at Contender.
Yeah.
I see why they come to MCG every week. Because, that place is really big, right?
Yeah.
But, clearly the staff like they don't work there that often.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's no one's job. Whereas at the MCG, Joe described it as when you go to the MCG, it can be really full on because if you don't go there all the time, it's like 100,000 people knowing where they're going.
Yeah.
And like when you work there regularly. You know where everything is. You've had every question thrown at you.
Yeah.
But these people, like, how many games are at Geelong every
True, they might be working every 3 weeks, sometimes every fortnight, but sometimes once a month.
Yeah, it's
it makes
literally
sense.
like your Suns, GWS, Bulldogs, and Foo Fighters. Like they're the only time. Like I think it would only be like 8 games or something down there they play. Wouldn't it?
Probably, yeah. You're only doing 13 home games a year anyway, and a bunch of them are
MCG.
Yeah.
So maybe it's more like 10 games there a year. I don't know.
maybe, yeah.
But yeah, like that was crazy.
Yeah.
But then the game, bit shit, rainy, wet.
Yeah. I enjoyed it immensely because it was my team and like I just loved being there and stuff. So I think I was a little biased. But also I did not expect us to be in the game at halftime. I had zero expectations of being in the game. So when we were, I got a bit excited. I was like, oh, maybe there's an upset here.
We kept saying the whole game and the Kate McCarthy's of the world said this and I was like, wow, we're pretty smart. She said Geelong played 7 back to Suns 6 and Hardwick decided not to do anything about it.
No, I feel like that was bad coaching for Dimmer. It felt like we would kick it to a pack, but then you step away for 2 seconds and you go, no, it wasn't that we were kicking to a pack. It's just they had spares always back.
Yeah.
So they make packs.
They did nothing about it.
We did nothing about it. I reckon we might have had 15 inside 50s that went directly to intercept marks, I reckon.
I was to say about Geelong is Tom Atkins is underrated, right? Because he... when you watch Geelong, in contest, they seem to get it out. So, like, people like Brian Myers and Bailey Smith and the runners...
Max Holmes.
And Max Holmes get big flowers.
Yeah.
But they only get it because he gets it out.
100%. Yeah. You need that insider scooping it out, 100%.
He's and other teams don't have him.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like that's what Rao does for the Suns, but often gets eaten up and tackled. Yeah. Isn't he leading the league in tackles or something? Yeah, I think he is. I think...
big tackler.
Kate said that on
the show that we steal everything from, yeah. Literally, all I do is I go watch what Kate said, and I go, oh, that's a good point. I'm going to say what Kate said.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, really good game. It was a shame that we sort of gave up in the last, but it was probably deserved as well. We weren't the better team on the day. We were by far and away outclassed and outcoached.
We did a Broden and left 5 minutes early.
Yeah, which I agreed with because Suburban, could have been an absolute nightmare. So we were like, let's get the fuck out of here.
And we nailed getting the fuck out.
Oh, yeah, we really did.
Well, we were just awesome. I'm really proud of us there.
Yeah.
Give me that sting, Tom.
You cannot do that. That is not on Stevie J.
I'm someone who goes for teams. I'm a lifer. So when I chose to go for the Philadelphia 76ers in 2000, when I was like 11 years old, I've been with them since. Yep. And we're a shit team. Like we never win shit. Demons, whole life, and the worse they've gotten, the more I hyper-focused on them.
Yeah.
I'm about the failures and the teams that are run awfully and the loser teams. In 2020, during COVID, I watched a documentary about Tottenham Hotspur, and I decided this misery team, they're my team. I'm going to go for them. I'm locked in with this team. Then they were shit. They're worse than Melbourne ever, worse than Philly ever, like just ineptitude, just pure, the richest and the biggest fan base, but just inept.
Yeah.
Right? And then Ange Postecoglou comes in, a guy who can fix anything. He wins cups everywhere he goes. He went in and won a cup for them. He won him silverware. And they fucking fired him 6 days later or whatever it is, 14 days later. I'm not going for them anymore.
No, that's fair enough.
I don't go for Tottenham. That is they're disgraceful.
Yeah.
It's the worst decision you could ever make. Everything that I know about watching sport teams, it's about building culture, consistency, and stability. And if you have those 3 things, then over time, that will bring you success. You might lose sometimes. You might do worse than you expected sometimes. But if you're consistent, full of culture and standards, that's the thing then in the long run. But this stupid fucking place with so much money keeps firing good people every 2 years and starting again. And they deserve every bad thing that happens to them.
There's 6 coaches in 5 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're awful, man.
And it's really good coaches as well.
They're like Carlton a little bit, right? In that they'll have who did they have? Brent, what's his name? Brett Ratton, right?
Yep.
And they went, oh, but Malthouse is here. Sack him, get Mick Malthouse. He won flags. And then it doesn't work out, sack him. And then, we're going to go back to hard-nosed buggers. And they get Brendan Bolton. And they go, right, with him? Nah, fuck him, out.
Yeah.
And then they get in, who'd they get?
So then they sacked him, and then they had Teague as their caretaker coach.
And maybe Teague.
And they liked him, and then they employed him.
And then they employed him. And this is what we're about now. Not working, fuck him off. Now it's all about Voss. Now we've got a leader, a guy who you can get behind. And let's see what they fucking do there. But it's that thing, is when you have too much money, sometimes when you throw money at issues, it doesn't actually help.
Agree. Yeah,
that's all I mean to say. It's why Collingwood did so well by just getting some unknown guy and locking in with him with Fly McRae.
Yeah.
They could have gone and got... I think they were into Clarkson and they were into a few big ones, but they went and got that. That was really clever from them. So Tottenham, goodbye. I hate you, idiots.
There's no kryptonite for kryptonite.
Just want to point out winter is setting in, and you know how in footy world people just start saying it's and these are the games that in the middle of winter when they're just struggling through them. These are the games you got to. We're in that period now. It's freezing. Games are so shit right now. 20 to 25 from the majority, and then maybe it kicks up at the end. Wet. Put roofs on all of it. I say it every year. Put roofs on everything.
Yeah, it's really poor weekend of football quality. I still enjoyed it. I think we still enjoyed it, but a lot of people saying it was awful and unwatchable and stuff, So,
yeah. No, it's just freezing cold, but this is footy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I quite liked it.
Big puffer jacket on with a beanie and a thermos full of soup.
Chai latte.
Oh, a thermos of chai latte would
be nice.
be
I don't really like coffees from a sachet. But chai lattes from the sachet, really nice.
Yeah.
You like a chai latte from a sachet, goes off.
Do you know what I have because I'm not Indian.
Yep.
But sometimes I see in the Indian ads, the grandmothers making in the little pots some sort of Indian tea hot drink thing, and it looks like a nice creamy chai thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what's in that, but it looks fucking delicious.
Yeah, that sounds really nice.
Yeah. Also, they're going to bring back the EJ Whiten Legends game this year. It went on a hiatus because it went to historic lows.
Yeah.
When it was at Amy Park on a rectangle.
Yeah.
With 12 people there, I think just after COVID. And it was just bizarre. And
was it still broadcast and made a big thing?
It was on Channel 7. Pickett Palace played Anthony McDonald tipping Woody.
Oh, fun.
And then it just cut to shots of Anthony just watching them. It was a weird day. But it was, from me growing up, an important part of the football calendar. Yeah. And obviously AFLW has periods where it's now what I think should be seen above. But there is a window here for... it's the brevity and the lightness of it, I think, is missing. But also, it was very tired and worn out.
Sure.
So it did need some time off. So I'm keen to see how it goes. Because I would genuinely love to see a few of the media people either take a big bump or play well or, Yeah. I think it'd be good.
I think so too.
Sting.
Absolutely pumped.
Everyone's been dumping on Tasmania all week. So after thinking since Wednesday...
Yeah.
I just want to get on record and say, I think this team happens.
Sure.
And it's very cool this week to go, they're going to not be there. It's all going to fall apart. I think it's going to happen. Now, another thing I'm going to go through, when we've talked about Tasmania before, I probably foolishly in the earlier days would be just like, oh, come on, let's have a team.
Yeah.
And then I've had feedback from Tasmania people going, you don't know what you're talking about.
Sure.
You don't know what it's like down here. And I take that on board. I think Tasmanian people often say stuff like, unless you're living on this island, you don't get how unique and specifically different Tassie politics is.
Sure.
And how, but so I accept that if you don't live on that island, you don't understand what it's like down there. But we get a bunch of feedback from Tassie people.
Oh, yeah, heaps.
And so this is the feedback that I've heard back from lots of Tassie people is firstly, you don't understand the politics of what it's like down here.
Yep.
I take that on board. The other thing is there was an election 12 months ago where the stadium was part of it.
Big part of it, yeah.
So I think it's an inefficient state. They've got to figure.
I know you can't be agreeing on it essentially 12 months ago and then blowing it up 12 months later. It seems silly.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very tight parliament, and Liberals just got over the line, I believe, with a hung parliament. I think they formed minority government.
Correct. Yep.
But even so, they're going to go to election again.
Oh my God.
The other thing, I just wanted to voice something that I've seen a few times in emails and in messages and in comment threads in our community that I haven't heard talked about in other places. Because a lot of people say, we've got problems down here, and a lot of people saying we can't afford it because it's going to build economy. It's not something that's going away. And I've heard other people saying there is a lot of money dedicated towards health and other stuff as well. So comparing the two is unfair. Other people saying we just can't afford it. What I've actually, from Tassie people, what I've not heard is I've seen a lot of people say, this is why I left where I'm from.
Yeah.
Because if you want to build anything, it gets shut down here.
Yeah.
Not to say that they're right, but I just felt like that's worth mentioning, not my position, but just worth mentioning. I've seen a lot of Tassie people say, if you want to build something or go or have high aspirations or do anything, it's often shut down here. And I was like, I just haven't seen that.
Similar to what a lot of people give me feedback about growing up in beachside towns or country towns, even in bigger cities. It's like a lot of people in like Inverloch, where I spent a lot of time when I was growing up, were like, if you don't leave here, then people just put you down and stop you, and it's very hard to achieve anything.
I don't know if that's true, but that's just something I've seen from people.
Yeah.
Here's my last take, is Andrew Dillon has to have this happen and it's Gillen's fault. I think I said it on Thursday, but Gillen deliberately went, we're doing this by.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
And Andrew Dillon's legacy can't be, I fucked up my administration and had to go and hire all these people because it was going so badly. And no, there's no longer Channel 7 on Saturday nights. And the Tassie thing's fallen through. It can't be his legacy.
Yeah.
So I feel like he will have to make it happen.
Do you get in my new position?
What?
I keep talking about how the stadium's a good investment and Tassie should do it. Well, someone said to me, well, why can't the AFL make that investment? And I agree. AFL, build the stadium, put up $1 billion for it, take a loan, and then charge cricket through the nose. You know what I mean?
They're putting money into it already.
I know, but like, say to the state, bad luck, see you later, do it all themselves and charge cricket. Charge anyone who wants to do...
I don't know if they have that much money, do they?
Well, I think you could loan it. Like, if they could do it with Marvel, for however they did Marvel, they could do it with Tassie.
I think
they'd make
Marvel,
the money back.
I think Marvel was a government build and then was given to the AFL.
There was a deal, right? But surely they could do the same thing. But what I'm saying is, if you have Pearl Jam down there, not that Pearl Jam would go down there, but if you charge cricket through the nose to do it there, you have, big events there, make your money back, I feel like they could do it.
The anecdote I kept hearing was that there's this talk about having these, the cars that go up to the hills. What are they called?
Oh, yeah. They have zip lines, but with things. Yeah.
And they wanted to do up to the top of Hobart, that nice
Mount
view.
Wellington.
Yeah.
And
they were
sick.
like, but then everyone wanted to do it. And then they're like, no, because why would you go up there if there wasn't a restaurant up there?
What?
And so there was all this back and forth about how there should be a restaurant if we're going to do that. It's just that weird thing in small communities where people start fighting and
that's insane. And it's called a cable car.
Cable car.
But I do like a restaurant on top of it.
I think that would be nice. But then people will go, don't put a restaurant at the top of there because I don't want it there.
Yeah.
They go, okay, we won't, but we'll still put the car up there. Cable. Anyway,
I get your point.
Stingney.
Here he is again, the horny one.
At the moment, Tom, grand final. It's Collingwood, fresh air, and then a group of people.
Yeah.
And I'm not happy about it, but I think Collingwood are going to win this premiership this year.
I
think it's like a 70% chance now.
I rate them very highly. I do feel like someone from that next group down has a chance.
Yeah, but
it's tough.
They look like kilometres above everyone at the moment. They're going to win it. They are going to win the grand final again.
The only thing I would say is there's literally exactly halfway. Like there's another 12 rounds to go, So Pies are 12-2. They could still end 16-10. We've seen crazier things. So it's still early, but right now I agree with you. We did this last year with Sydney.
Last year with Sydney, though, there were other teams who were in that, it was Sydney were playing so well, but then the second tier there was a lot like, well, they could win it.
Yeah.
But this year, like, everyone's dropped. Like, Brisbane have done unimpressing. Crows aren't good enough yet. Geelong lose important games. Suns aren't good. Hawthorn aren't good. GWS aren't good. Freo aren't good. Bulldogs are not even in the top 8.
No, but I think they deserve to be. But yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just no one else there to contend with them.
I think Brisbane are the ones for me. Even with these losses, like, they've shown that they can galvanise. That even though they lost to Crows, I still thought they were the better team. I think they showed last year that they can galvanise and get it together. So I'm still putting my eggs in Brisbane. But I agree with you. I'm
a little bit annoyed. Like, I'm sad because it's Collingwood and I hate Collingwood. But also, like, 80% of my annoyment with Collingwood winning is that I just don't want to see a recent team win another one.
Yeah, totally.
I want the good times to continue to roll. Do you know what I mean?
think Collingwood, Brisbane, or Geelong would be boring as. Adelaide, crazy. Hawthorn, crazy. Gold Coast, crazy. GWS, crazy. Like, all those would be crazy. But yes, I agree. I don't want to see Geelong, Brisbane, or Collingwood win, and they're the 3 favourites.
Yeah. Bummer. But also, no exciting. Who are the teams who you think genuinely can still contend, all right? Who can still contend?
Are we taking
start with Brisbane.
I think so, yes. I think they showed us last year that it's all good, don't stress too much.
Third on the ladder, can Adelaide Crows still win the grand final?
No, they can make the granny, though. They can make the granny. They can have a crazy...
So they can't win it?
I don't think so, no.
Can Geelong Cats win the grand final?
Yes, absolutely.
Can the Gold Coast Suns win the grand final?
No, they cannot.
Can the Hawthorn Hawks still win the grand final?
I put them with Adelaide. They can make a granny.
Can the GWS Giants still win the grand final?
They can make a granny as well, I think.
They're in my next segment. You'll see what I think about this show. Can Fremantle win the grand final?
No, I don't think so.
Bulldogs?
Yes, I give
Bulldogs. They can win the grand final?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Can Essendon win the grand final?
No.
Okay, and then we won't go on from there.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about it in headlines later, but I think Sydney was the other one that I would give a chance of making an insane comeback.
Look at their next 5 games.
Sydney?
Yeah, they got a Brendan Gale's chance in Tassie. That's the other thing about Tassie. If Brendan Gale gets this team up from here, he'll like the greatest CEO administrator in the AFL to ever live.
Yeah, totally.
3 premierships for Tigers, and then makes the Tigers happen. And then makes the Devils happen after they've like going from the precipice of demise. Yeah.
So Sydney have a bye, then Port. Then they have Dogs, which is tough. Then they have Freo, which is tough. And then but it's at SCG. Then they have St Kilda, and then they have. Let's have a look. Then they have North in Sydney. So
they can win
it's
a few.
Not too bad, yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see. Paddy, do you want to say something?
I was going to just mention that literally at this point last year for Brisbane, well, maybe not, but I think 12 months plus or minus a week. But they were 4 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I'm just not writing them off yet. I think they have every chance of making the granny at least.
Yeah.
Mark my words. Collingwood win the grand final.
Yeah. I still think Geelong, I reckon. I think Geelong just do enough to get there and then go bang, bang, bang in September.
That's a good point.
What they do.
Collingwood will win the grand final. I'm doing something here. Give me that sting.
Collingwood have closed like the Grim Reaper!
Put some sad music under this, Tom.
Okay.
Some epidemic, sad funeral music.
Sure.
Because we are here to lay to rest GWS this year. They are officially done. They are having a poor man's Sydney fallout. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Sydney are the ones, oh my God, they've fallen apart. GWS are very close behind them.
Yeah.
Like, they are they've got a great list. They're not missing anyone.
Yeah.
Got potentially the best defender in the league, Sam Taylor. Potentially the best full forward in the league.
Well, I think
Jesse
I don't
Hogan.
say potentially.
They've got Finn Callahan. They've got Tom Green. They have no excuse.
No excuse.
No excuse. They've just fallen off the edge.
And they're just doing them things as well, turning over the ball all the fucking time, kicking it shit, like
genuinely
just awful.
I was like watching that game, and I was like, this game is close. This game is important. I can't bring myself to watch this.
Yeah.
It's so shit. And the other thing I took from this game, and I don't know if you know this, Finn Layson still exists.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot he exists.
Yeah, I think Port had a few of their senior players back this week. I think Kane Farrell was back as well, from the top of my head, and they're still missing Jason Horne-Francis. I think Port are still a little bit better than what...
They're still a danger at points, but...
Yes, but they're not going to make the 8.
GWS in their spiritual home of Canberra.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
should have just fucking won that game. What a shocker.
There was this graphic going around on X of the 7AFL grand final
There was
prediction.
a really interesting stat from Elon Musk about Trump.
So the 7AFL team, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 of them, and 7 of them picked before the season that GWS were going to make the grand final. That was their predictions.
I think they were my grand final tip.
Yeah, they might have been. So it just shows how big the drop off is. Only Luke Hodge didn't have him in the grand final.
Patty wants to say something.
Kate McCarthy didn't make the graphic, but she had the Giants missing the top 8 this year.
Why?
There you go.
I think, and this is what I think as well, they made the top 4 with 15 wins, so they just scraped in. Pretty low percentage last year. And then they lost 3 really important depth players over the off-season. So Cumming goes to Adelaide. He's been really good. Peatling goes to Adelaide. He's been really good. You're calling your dad.
No, I'm calling Kate McCarthy.
Oh, cool.
Let's see why Kate Mac...
And Perryman as well.
Perryman to Collingwood.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is going to be a flex, but I don't think she's going to answer.
Nah, she's screening you, mate.
Yeah.
No, she would have already screened you, surely. Nah,
But if you want to pretend...
Forwarded to voicemail.
Yeah, see, if you want to pretend...
That I mean, might be doing the game. There's a game about to start.
Triple M, yep.
Triple M rocks football.
Doesn't it?
Give me a sting.
Because we just love the footy.
Swans got a good win.
Yeah. Or did Richmond have a bad loss?
I got a question for you about the Swans.
Yeah, hit me.
Their player profile, where they are, are they over the edge now, or have they got years of being in the window?
That's really difficult, but I would argue, without looking at it, that they've got years to go.
They feel to me like they're fine for years.
Yeah, because I think your Heaney's and your Gouldens and everything are still on the right side of 30. Like, by far. Gordon's like 24 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Chad Warner is quite young. Heaney would be the oldest of them, and he'd be like 26.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, they've got years to come. I'm not stressed at all. 29, Heaney. Yeah. Still
absolute.
Good.
So that, and so my thing, Dean Cox, stop trying to do coaching this year. Just reload.
Yeah.
Tank. Lock that shit down.
Yeah.
They're going to get Ugle-Hagan. You aware of this?
Yeah, they probably will. And that's the missing piece, really. And then I think like maybe a new ruckman once Brady retires. So they've got a bit of work to do on the list, but really, they're sorted.
If they get Jamara Ugle-Hagan next year, and hope, knock on wood, he comes back and he's mentally in a great place and everything's good and he feels really fantastic about everything, that's awesome. But also, God fucking help us, because Swans next year, with everyone loaded up and being fantastic and really good, and having Ugle-Hagan playing all of a sudden the best season he's ever had, they're going to be unstoppable.
He's so good, Ugle-Hagan. I've always rated him very, very highly. I know he's off and on, but he's very good. He's had 3 or 4 arrival games, but if he locks in and just becomes normal, then like becomes a normal regular player, then it'd be the biggest coup for Sydney since Buddy, for sure.
Yeah. And then since before that, Tony Lockett.
Yeah.
No, actually before that, Barry Hall, and then Tony Lockett.
Sydney do it.
They get
full forwards.
There's a chance that someone was floating the idea that they go and get Curnow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, why not? A change if they have the money. I wonder about the money, but they are a bit stacked at the top end. And they do have a few older, probably heavy contracts.
Yeah, get rid of them.
Like, what's the guy who came from Collingwood before GWS?
Paul Kelly.
Taylor Adams.
Once Taylor Adams goes, once Grundy goes, it'll relieve a lot of salary cap pressure.
Fucking send Brodie Grundy and Taylor Adams to where it out. Get rid of them.
I still feel like they're valuable for this year, but sure.
Nah.
Grundy killed Nankervis.
And he had
like
great
55 hit-outs or something.
That was an incredible goal from him as well.
It was, yeah.
From a gigantic man to tap it along and then snap it in.
I got to go to the MCC for the first time to watch a game of footy.
Oh, Paddy, tell me about it, mate. Welcome.
Who
let you in firstly? I just need to write their name down.
I went with my friend Miller, who's a Swans fan, and his girlfriend Millie, who is a D's fan.
Yeah.
But wore a Swans scarf. So me and my partner went along.
Did you have a collared shirt on?
I did have a collared shirt on. And it was a very polite viewing experience for a very boring game.
Well, let's keep it that way. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed. It's the same as everywhere else, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, yeah. It absolutely is. I can't believe I tipped Richmond. I thought they were going to absolutely...
So did I, Tom.
Didn't score after half time.
Richmond kicked 1 goal after quarter time. It was like, honestly, at the toss of the coin, it was like Nankervis and Mills walked up to each other and said, "We've both got the bye next week. Let's just get through and no one gets hurt."
Really?
I think so. Because Richmond's overachieved already based on the expectation of their performances.
Unbelievable.
And Sydney needs to win.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. Let's all go home.
I think that's a hot take, Paddy. Yeah, Richmond shouldn't be in the position they're in, which is really good. And they should have their flowers. You know, is everyone saying flowers?
Yeah, it's because of you.
Yeah, you did
not.
this.
No, people
you.
say flowers, man.
No, it's you. It's never been a thing until you said
everyone was like that. Brent Deledio. Brent
Deledio, yeah,
has been saying it since the start of the year.
Oh, right.
But I don't listen to Dylan Friends regularly, so I don't know. Not to say it's a great show, you should listen to it, but I didn't fucking hear it.
I mean, it's a common turn of phrase. I'd heard it before you said it.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I did steal it. Now, give me that sting. How the fuck Dogs lose this game? They just needed to do one thing and win this game at their home ground with Bont playing, with everyone there. They should have just won this game.
What am I going to say, Broden?
Flaky, I don't know.
No. They're coming off the bye, mate.
Yeah, it's the bye.
It's the bye. People every year forget that it is genuinely a thing. Not a 100% thing, but it's an 80% thing that teams coming off byes lose. Oh. Obviously, Port came off a bye and beat GWS. So it's not wouldn't bet on it. But I'm telling you, every year there's like stacks of evidence that teams come off byes and lose.
Ginnivan ran into it was a beautiful play. Just got
gorgeous.
Just kilometres out in front of everyone. Ran into goal and held the ball out behind him. And I feel like I saw in action, because like people do that all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Aussie did it the other week. And because it's Ginnivan, there's just this algorithm in lazy journalist brain to go, that's bad, isn't it? Because they know that'll get engagement. No one fucking cares, man.
I thought it was great.
No one cares.
I care, but in a good way. I'm like, I care that...
Yeah, it's nice, whatever.
Yeah, it's like great. I love the attitude. I think there's not enough of it. I like Guinea, I think, when he doesn't play in my team.
I can't believe the Dogs aren't in the 8, man. That's insane.
Yeah, I think they're going to get it together. I think they've played so well early and they've held themselves in good stead. They've got players coming back from injury. They'll work it out. I think they're going to be good, I think.
The real question is, can they get to the top 4 from here?
That will be tough.
Then that's tough to win the flag then.
Yeah, totally. But they've done it before.
I know, but I'm over that. They've done it before shit. And I'm sick of this fake belief that finishing outside of the top 4 can win you a flag thing now.
Because is it only are they the only ones who have done it?
Because the AFL needs it for storytelling. Because like Hawthorn last year, like maybe, you know,
or the reigning premiers Brisbane.
Or Brisbane, maybe. Or the D's even in the 2021 year was the year before we didn't finish finals. But then we did finish first. But like they need the anyone can win it mentality.
Yeah.
Because the truth is it's going to be Geelong versus Collingwood at the MCG and evil will win. In the nicest possible way. Beautiful communities, been over 150 years. Great clubs.
Yeah.
But I've seen this premiership in the last 20 years.
For me, I could see Western Bulldogs come in for Freo, for GWS, for Hawthorn, for Gold Coast, and for Adelaide. Adelaide is still young and could drop a few on the way. They're on 24 points. Adelaide's on 36, so they're like 3 games behind.
Yep.
Or 4 games behind. 4, 8, 12. 3 games behind. So, yeah, it's going to be hard to make top 4, but I think they definitely make the 8, and they definitely are better than what they were on Friday. And I think Hawthorn really needed that win.
Yeah, they did.
They really needed it.
What if they figure it out like Brisbane last year?
Oh, absolutely. I think that would be really fun. And they could totally make the top 4. They're 1 game out.
That'd be interesting. They're still very unreliable. They're still very young is the only concern there. Just a preview of today's game, Freeze MND game. So forget the game.
Yeah.
They're running out of people to put down the slide.
So do they not do repeats?
No, there's no repeats.
Oh,
I feel like this year, and you know, this is like they've got the Australian of the Year running it, so that is all the star power you need.
Sure.
But a bit lackluster in my opinion.
Sure.
Big Freeze 11.
I mean, yeah. From my memory, it's always just the commentators anyway. So,
well, one year they had every head coach went down the slide.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Remember, and Chris Fagan ripped his
did his hammy. That's right. Yeah.
Then other years, you know, you've had big names do it, but they're just kind of running out of energy. So I want to think of what could they do next year that's really engages people?
Sure.
I don't know.
They could do like an acting thing. People love actors.
People like who?
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's maybe impossible.
Is it I feel like maybe all right if they I don't know if Chris lives in LA now, but he loves the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Eric Banner as Chopper.
It's probably the one who hasn't really been done yet who would be good is players, like the captains of each club. Yeah. But I feel like it's just too risky because if anyone smashes their head and then go into concussion protocol or something.
Sure. But apart from Fagers, is that the only... incident of being injured, then I feel like the players could do it.
Mark Taylor, Tubby Taylor.
Yeah.
Alyssa
Taylor.
Healy, who is a gun.
Yeah.
Peter Dacos, who is, the Collingwood love him. Matt Nable, who is the voice of Fox Footy, who is a rugby player, but a league player, by the way.
Yeah.
Aaron Davey, who I love, and then Liz Watson, a netballer, Cadell Evans, Craig Lowndes, Ariana Titmus, Matt Shevington. I might be wrong. Here's the A-listers of this, in my opinion. Cadell Evans is one of the greatest cyclists of Australia. Ariana Titmus is a goat of swimming. Alyssa Healy is a great cricketer. Dacos makes sense.
No, I think Dacos, if it wasn't for his sons, I would never have heard of him. And I'm a next gen.
We're going to get emails about that.
Yeah, I mean, just being a next gen supporter, I don't know anyone who's old.
Craig Lowndes is a good car racer, but
I don't really know who that
respectfully, when I was growing up, people talked about V8 supercars, and I've not heard anyone talk about a V8 supercar in maybe 15 years.
Can I give my hot take on what it's giving for me?
Yeah.
It's giving Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, it is very
It's giving 7 Dancing with the Stars. I could see this as the Dancing with the Stars lineup. And it'd be a good lineup for Dancing with the Stars. But it's not like, this is crazy,
I'd try and get like a Kath or a Kim to go down as Kath or Kim.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
I'd try and get a...
that's what I mean. Actors as characters, Chopper as Eric Banner.
Sean McAuliffe as Milo Kerrigan.
Yeah.
That's before your time, Paddy.
Has Strawny done it?
Yeah, he would have had... Peter...
Peter's been down.
Peter, I feel like... I don't know that for sure, but I'm sure Peter's gone down many times.
100%.
Eric Banner.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like Eric Banner did do it.
And then what about... We could get the Prince of Lygon to go down. As the Prince of Lygon.
Vince Colosimo?
Yeah.
He's got some court dates. We won't,
sure.
He's right. But that just send in your ideas for MND next year, for Freeze MND next year, because, these are all good for sports stars. And I feel like most people, when they call, they would answer.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, time for headlines.
Great.
My headlines were so fucking right last week. I can't remember them, but I was so right.
I did 5.
Jesus, please give me yours because I've got none.
Okay, great. My first one is, could Sydney make a late run for finals? I think we'll see that.
Yes.
They've got a couple of great players coming back.
It was actually already on today on the round so far.
Was it?
Yeah.
There you go. I did watch that, so maybe I subliminally stole that. I'm sorry.
Subliminally?
So I stole that. I'm sorry.
The thing you watched.
Don't appreciate that. Sorry. Apologies.
No.
Melbourne win the King's birthday clash. Could see that this week as a headline.
That would be so good. It's not going to happen, though.
No, it happened. No one wins off a bye. Obviously, that's going to be a big headline.
That's the Tom special.
That's the Tom. And then, just because of how Josh Jenkins was going, worst game of footy ever, we could see as a headline.
Is footy ruined?
Is footy ruined? Yeah, worst round of footy ever, we could see as a headline.
Yeah.
Depending on what the last 2 games are, obviously.
Yeah. Any headlines that I think are going to pop out? You got one, Paddy? Get
rid of the split bye weeks and just have a weekend off. I know Sam McClure has been on that for a couple of weeks, but considering the quality of the weekend, I think there's going to be a lot of bye chat this week. Good chat, Paddy. That's very right.
For years.
That's
we
right.
Have, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Malacca. We do Malaccas or Subas first? Malaccas first.
No, that is traditionally the way.
Yes.
Yeah, it's exactly what Paddy just said. Buys. I think a lot of people are upset about the buys, but specifically the long weekend buy. I think for whatever reason, people really want to watch their team on a buy, on a long weekend. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, for whatever reason, maybe they're going on a long weekend, so they really want to see Saints off Freo play.
To counter that opinion, I think a long weekend allows you to do buys, in a more efficient way, because this weekend, because of King's birthday tomorrow, you only have 2 days without football before football starts up again. So you kind of get an incognito buy happening here.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah. I think that's very, very true. I said when I put out the Malaccas to the people, I said, don't bother putting in North and West Coast, and about 80 people said the North versus West Coast game, which is funny.
Jesus.
People you're either on one side of this or the other, but people really don't like the media coming for Bailey Smith and Ginnivan. They're like, no, they're fun, they're alive, they're great. So a lot of people on their side.
We didn't even talk about Andrew Dilling having a bonfire meeting with Bailey Smith.
I can't believe that. That is the most, the CEO should not be doing that. obviously,
At a
it's all
bonfire meeting.
rumor and fires. It's all rumor and everything. And I really want to know who leaked that, to be honest. But I can't see how that's not below the CEO
It's strange.
to go there and say, stop saying stuff about drugs on Instagram. Like, surely.
Oh, is that what it was?
Could be enough. Yeah.
Do we know what that was?
That's what the articles were saying. But again, it's all rumor. No, I doubt anyone that was in that room leaked what the details were. So I think it's all someone was telling me sort of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, that's what the article was running.
I had a Malacca.
Yeah, go.
Themed food stalls at stadiums.
Ah, yeah, we didn't talk about this.
So you go to a stadium, you're given a seat wherever you are, and then behind you is a fancy pizza place. What if you want a pie or a thing?
Oh, no. This was a GMHBA.
That's where I got it. We were near a brisket burger place.
And a pork banh mi place.
Yeah, and we're like, no, we want pie and chips and hot dogs.
I love both those things, but it's not what I want.
Part of me goes, yeah, you want variety, but no, because you want consistency wherever you're sitting.
Mm-hmm.
So everything should have more variety at one kind of shop.
Yeah.
Does
I
that make
agree.
sense?
Absolutely.
Do you vote on that, Paddy?
I vote one.
You vote with that?
I vote with that.
Yeah, I think the same place, but with a good range of shit.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Suvers? Or
Well,
we got
bad
more
weather
Malacca?
footy as well. We said bad
yeah,
weather,
yeah.
bad footy all weekend.
Weather
a lot of
is-
people had that in.
I like bad weather, but I don't like I like, the energy of going to a bad weather game,
Yeah, so do I.
but only if you're undercover.
And then the last one, just a lot of people had Tottenham as well. It's good that you've
Malacca of the fucking century.
put them to death.
Of the fucking century.
And then maybe riff
I
on
went on a tour of your stadium, you jerks.
you jerks. And then maybe we can riff on some supers, because the only ones that came in was someone was like, a few people like 5 games on free to air this weekend. That's a great weekend for free to air, because there was only 8 games and there's the Monday game, blah, blah, blah.
That's true.
And a lot of people were giving love for Ginnivan as well. Any other Suvers? I think we should probably give one to Port for getting a good win over
Yeah,
GWS.
they get a mini Suva.
Bunbury can get one.
Bunbury gets a Suva for
Bunbury
being
can get
beautiful.
it.
What do you got,
I've
Patrick?
got Dyson Sharp, who's the maybe the number 1 pick, or at least top 3 pick this year, who destroyed Vic Metro in the under-18s game.
I don't know what that means. but I love
32
that.
disposals, 2 goals.
Going to North.
Probably going to Western Australia.
You're going
for
to
the West
Of
Coast
course,
Eagles.
I forgot about
I
West
think.
Coast. Yeah.
When, yeah, cool, easy.
You've
good.
just tapped out of the day, Justin.
No, I'm just thinking about West Coast's model, which is like 16 average players and then 2 like generational talents now, and they're going like, who do they handball to each other all day? Or?
Yeah.
That's very reductive of me to just say that West Coast has only got 2 good players, but
Yeah, I think they've got a lot of players with great potential, but we have to see, like, Elijah Hewitt could be better than Harley Reid at this point. I'd put a bet on it, but it's too early to say.
go Paddy.
Can I put a big, I suppose I'm going to go with Suva for Judson Clark, because he did his knee again. So he's done 3 ACLs now on the same knee, but he's like had this Instagram post where he was like really, really positive and upbeat about it.
Oh, good on you, mate.
So positive spin, but I'm very sad for him.
Good on you, Paddy. And that's good on you, Judson.
Judson Clark.
What is that name?
That is
Jason and Judd.
Yes,
Judson
Judson.
Yeah, and Hudson.
and Hudson. Judson.
Judson.
That sounds like a sketch character's name. Judson. Anyway, on that, who's the Suva? Judson. Judson
Yeah,
for
let's
the
give it to
name.
Judson.
The name Judson.
Yeah.
The name Judson.
Have a great week, anyone. If you listened, I appreciate it. Statistically, on a long weekend, you don't listen to it because you're on holiday. But if you are listening, we value you, dear friend.
Yeah, it'd be like a 5% drop off. So thank you to the 95% that stuck true.
Yeah, Malacca to the scum who don't listen on
Yeah.
who slept in.
The 5 to 10%.
We love you. Have a great Monday on a public holiday if you enjoy one. If not, go to work. And we'll see you soon. Bounce that pill.